For those who don't know already, and for those who want to watch this video, I want to share with you my motorbike challenge story and my reasons why. It was back in October 2021. I delivered a mental health talk to my partner's motorbike club. That's the Litchfield Advanced Motorbike Group. And this was the first time they had met face to face since the start of the pandemic. Now, I am a registered qualified mental health counsellor, and I worked straight through the pandemic, and I knew that people were experiencing suicidal thoughts. I wanted the audience, I wanted these bikers to watch a 10-minute free video on how to help someone with suicidal thoughts. Well done in watching this. The more comfortable you are with the subject, the more comfortable they will feel. Ask them if they are comfortable to talk to you. If they don't want to talk to you, what you can do is not take the response personally. And I was thinking, how am I going to motivate these guys to do this? And I thought to myself, right, I'm expecting them to step out of their comfort zone and to watch, which can be a very uncomfortable subject for people to watch, a video about suicide. So I knew that I needed to push myself out of my comfort zone if I was expecting them to do the same. So I thought, what would be the most uncomfortable thing that I could do? Ride a motorbike. Actually ride a motorbike. Now, I've been a pillion on the back of my partner's bike, over the years. No problem at all. I trust him. He's an advanced rider. Happy days. But the idea of me riding a motorbike absolutely terrified me. But the potential of people watching my 10-minute video and the potential to save lives, that outweighed my fear. Now, I know this wasn't going to be easy, so I knew it was going to be baby steps, and I hadn't even ridden a bicycle for about 25 years. So I borrowed my mate's bicycle, good old Andy Robinson. I know you'll be watching this video. Thank you, Andy. And of course, I'm a stand-up comedian as well. So for the laugh, I got dressed up in our motorbike gear, went out in my local road practicing on the bicycle, which turned a few heads. But you know what? There's nothing I won't do to encourage people to watch stuff about mental health, to be fair. Okay, so it started off with that, so it was going to be baby steps. And then it came to the point of booking myself in for an actual motorbike lesson. Okay, so I got there early, so just to steady my nerves, to try and work on the fear. And I can tell you, the fear was absolutely horrendous. I was crying my eyes out before even getting on a bike. Now, working as a counsellor, I knew that this fear was completely out of proportion to the actual event. I knew that as a counsellor. And actually, I was thinking, why am I so scared? And what I realised is that I remembered being in a car crash when I was a teenager, and the driver of the car, instead of putting a foot on the brake, put a foot on the accelerator. So we went flying up in the air, hitting a telegraph pole, and went upside down, landed upside down in the middle of the road. So I was very aware of the power of the throttle on a motorbike, okay? And I was linking the two, and I was just thinking, I'm going to lose control. I'm just going to crash into that wall over there, and that'll be the end of everything. And trying to manage those thoughts. I mean, I may be a counsellor, but I'm still a human being behind it all. And I get fears and irrational fears like everybody else. But again, my why kept me going. It kept me going, folks. And what I did was I put on my high-vis vest that says suicide, it's time to get talking. Just to motivate myself and to remember why I was doing what felt like a crazy thing at the time. So my instructor, Mark, fair play to Mark, I hope you get to watch this. He was very patient. And literally, I remember starting off on this 125cc bike and literally walking on the bike like this, looking absolutely terrified. I mean, I looked like something out of a zombie movie, just in total fear and just stuttering around the place. And I remember the advice of other bikers telling me, look, just imagine that everybody is out to kill you. Well, I didn't even need to imagine that, because in my head, even the tarmac was trying to kill me. It was like a scene from Final Destination. But I kept coming back because of the why. But you know what I didn't expect? What I really didn't expect was I started to enjoy it. And you know what, you bikers out there watching this, you motorbikers out there watching this, people have said to me, oh yeah, once you get past the fear, it'll get under your skin. I thought, there's no way. Yeah, I started to like it, and a bit too much actually. Even Mark and I'm going, Sheila, do you want to slow down there? Like there's a gravel tarmac here, you know? I was not expecting that. So then it was time for the CBT. Now, when I say CBT, I don't mean cock and ball torture or constriction applied to the male genitalia. Oh, I wouldn't know anything about that. And I don't mean CBT as in cognitive behavioural therapy. I know lots about that actually. No, I mean compulsive bike training, something that you have to pass in order to get your professional licence. And it was freezing. It was December. And again, Mark was very patient. Again, thank you, Mark. And oh my God, I remember one time my hand went completely numb. I couldn't actually feel what I was doing on the bike. And then I had to pull over, and I literally had to like stop the test. I was like trying to get the circulation back. I mean, what Mark must have thought, he might have even thought I was calling him out. But anyway, I was trying to get the circulation back into my hands. And I thought I failed the test because I've stopped it. But actually, it was the opposite. He was impressed by the way that I recognised I was becoming unsafe, and I passed my CBT. I couldn't believe it. And you know what? I really couldn't believe it. And my partner Mark had way more faith than I had, because he'd already gone out and bought a 125cc bike. So here's the really exciting part. When the LAMG, the motorbike club, saw that I'd stuck to my word, true to word, they did exactly the same. They started to watch the 10-minute video on how to help somebody with suicidal thoughts, and the views went up by 50, which is just amazing. And if you're watching this, any of the guys in the club, that means so much to me. It really does. For watching that, thank you so much, because I know how uncomfortable it is. So like the views went from 100 to 150, which was just amazing to see that. So then I set myself a challenge to ride to the actual motorbike club in Lichfield for the meet at Fradley Village Hall, and that was a fantastic feeling on my 125cc. I'm sure everybody could hear me coming. Arriving to the club, making it there, and I even got to meet Mick Wynn that day, a TT winner. Happy days, win-win all round. But yeah, that club, that LAMG, I have to say, you are absolutely an amazing club. I love that club. If you haven't joined it, you live nearby and you're into motorbikes, go join it, folks. So I continued then on my 125cc, and it reminds me, like, I mentioned about the fear and stuff like that. So sometimes I'd be okay, and sometimes I absolutely wouldn't. I'd be terrified again. The why just kept me going, and to see those views continuing on, I wanted to keep going then, because I could see the difference that this was making. So the next step for me was to try a big bike lesson. Now, I probably think differently to most people. My 125cc is 15 stone. I can handle that. A big bike, a Honda 650, well, that's about 30 stone, double the weight. And that was the bike that I was on for my first big bike lesson. That was incredibly daunting. Again, I put on the high-vis vest, suicide is time to get talking, just to keep that motivation. And the thing is that, and any bikers watching this will know this already, that people were saying to me, look Sheila, like the 125cc is fine, but actually a bigger bike is so much more safer. I mean, initially I didn't think so, I'm thinking it's double the weight, it'll fall down with me, it'll kill me. Anyway, okay, I come back. Do you hear the anxiety? Anyway, and but you were saying how much safer it is actually. It's much faster, you can get yourself out of trouble, awkward situations, and it's much more steadier. And I kind of thought, well, look, Sheila, let's just give the old lesson a go, do you know what I mean? And let's just see how that feels. And so I did. Again, it was that why that just kept me going, folks. And I remember actually in the lesson, I remember one of the instructors going, "Oh, have you got her to use the throttle yet?" And the other guy goes, "No." And he goes, "Oh, yeah, that'll scare her," or something like that. I liked it. I did. I was dying to go faster, actually. I couldn't believe. I was like, who am I? Who is this woman on this big bike, and what have you done to terrify Sheila? Because I wasn't recognising myself here. I really wasn't. And enjoying it. I can totally see why bikers say that biking is brilliant for your mental health. I totally get that now, because once you get past the fear. And that's the other thing, folks. I remember Bill from the club. Hello, Bill. I know you'll be watching this. Him saying to me, "How do you know you don't enjoy something if you've never tried it?" And that's the thing. Like, I didn't realise that the fear of it took out the enjoyment. Once the fear was out of the way, then I could actually enjoy it. How many things could that apply to different areas in our lives? Do you know what I mean, folks? This was such a learning curve, as well as the difference that this was making and people watching the video. So I did the big bike lesson, and I thought, okay, we're on this journey. And so I knew the next step was going to be the theory test. Now, the theory test. I got a book on everything you need to know on how to pass a theory test. And I studied that book. I studied it page to page. You know, was up half the night and not doing it all in the last night before the test. No, I gave myself a bit of time and I studied, you know, I read about all the hazard perceptions and stuff like that. And it was only literally the night before that I realised, oh, hazard perceptions, you're not showing them written down, you're actually watching videos. Didn't realise that. I was like, oh, and then I started to do a bit more research, because I thought, I've read the book, I've done everything that I need. And when I actually started to go online, I said, oh no, you need to watch all these perception videos. I was like, oh, okay, well, I'm stuffed now anyway. I tried to cram in a few hazard videos, but you know yourself, folks, when you're trying to cram in so much, my brain just went, my brain was like, switch, delete. It was like, I can't take any more information. And I just thought, you know what, actually, I remember now that you got to do a sample hazard test. Well, I failed it. Of course I failed it. So I kind of thought, it's too late now. I'm just going to see the test as a bit of a practice. And actually, I decided to change my attitude with this theory test. When I walked up to the theory test, I thought, you know what, I'm going to enjoy it. And I decided, you know, when I was there in the booth, they put you in this booth and these fancy earphones, whatever, and I was really getting into it. So much to the point I didn't realise I was like, look at that idiot there. What's he doing that, pulling out in front of the biker there? Well, the people that were beside me in the booth going, shut up, will you shut up? Like, sorry. But I enjoyed it so much that I passed it. No, I think there's a lesson to be learned in all of this, folks. I think the more we relax about stuff, the more we achieve stuff. Correct me if I'm wrong, but hey, I've certainly learned that in this journey. And again, the views continue to go up. That was amazing. The views, I can't remember where it was at that point. They went to 150 to 200. Then it was going up to 250. And I thought, wow. And then with Justine then, you know, working in the background while I've constantly seen people seen clients for counselling. That was just amazing, just in doing my PR and then just promoting that video, just amazing. And seeing all you guys watching it, sharing it, just amazing. I think it's amazing when we come together, what we can achieve. January this year, 2023, I thought, right, okay, it's time now to actually start doing big bike lessons. So I did. And I signed up to Staff Riders. Amazing motorbike training centre. And yeah, really recommend them. Kate, you're amazing. I hope you watch this video and hear me say that. And yeah, and it was just it was fabulous actually, because I remember the first lesson, again, despite the fear and all of that, the license plate said J-Lo on it. J-Lo, happy days. One of my favourite songs is J-Lo, Get Down on the Dance Floor, or whatever you call it. But it's yeah, so that was really fabulous to see that. And then, I mean, there was still all that kind of daunting, yes. Anybody that's done the motorbike test, you've got all the slow riding, you've got the slalom. I can never pronounce it. I don't even know if I still pronounce that right. Anyway, you're going in and out of cones and U-turns and all that sort of stuff. And handling this big bike. All really daunting stuff. But again, seeing the views go up and up, it absolutely didn't matter. Right, so then the next challenge was actually to go out on the road on a big bike. Again, really daunting, but I have to say Kate was absolutely amazing and so supportive, folks. And at the same time, my reasons why I put on the high vis, I just go out and do it. And yeah, I mean, as I talk about this now, I think there's still a part of me that just can't believe that I've actually done this. Because I was so scared before that. I think I'm still catching up with the fact that I'm a biker now. So weird, so weird. So then the next part then was the module 1. No, the module 1. For anybody who's done the module 1, there's a section in it where you've got to hit a certain speed at a certain time and the speed trap, and you've got to do it 3 times at 30, 30 and 32, or it's the other way around. I don't know, I don't care anymore. But what I do know is I thought, well, this is a numbers game, because obviously I'm not used to the big bike. Yeah, I've done a few lessons, but then you have to get it up to 30 miles an hour exactly in that exact point past the speed trap. I thought, how was anybody passing this test? So, and like I said, I rocked up there in the least expected to pass this. I thought, this is a numbers game. I'll do this about 12 times, and only one of them I might pass it and get it all, you know, right or whatever, And I couldn't believe it. I passed it. I passed my module 1 first time. How is that even possible? I don't know. Anyway, I did. And who cares? It's done now. I've got the certificate. Nobody can take it away from me. I am certified. Probably in more ways than one, but that's another story. Okay, so that was the module 1. Then it turned out that day that I had the option of doing the module 2 a week later. Now, I had only done one bike lesson at that point. And I think, to be honest, I think I was getting a bit cocky, actually, at this point. And it's when I said I was seeing the views going up, you know, seeing people were watching the video, the difference that was making. I thought, why not? It'll be a bit of practice. That was kind of my thinking. Managed to squeeze in a module 2 lesson, you know, during the week. Like, bear in mind, I spent most of my days working as a mental health counsellor. So here I was, seeing a client, putting on my bike here outside the door, doing bike lessons, coming back into social bullshit, seeing a client again. Crazy, absolutely crazy. And anyway, so I managed to do a lesson the morning of the module 2. And to be fair, I did quite well in the lesson. I was thinking, I could actually pass this and get my big bike license. And when I look back at it now, I think about the way that, you know, I think because I really wanted to pass it, I think that's a part of why I didn't pass it, actually. Kind of those expectations. Because remember, every other part of the journey, I was like, yeah, whatever. No pressure at all. I ain't going to pass this. And then I do. Then I actually think, gee, I could actually pass this. Then I don't. And yeah, so I remember actually it was going quite well, the lesson, to be fair. And then the instructor, not the lesson, the actual examiner and the module 2. And the examiner, he asked me to pull over, not because I was in trouble, because they actually do that. And so I pull over, and that's fine. And then they asked me to do it again. And then I hear in my ear, oh, no, you can move down a bit. So I've got a big bike, I'm not going to ride off. I kind of shuffle down, and I don't see the wet drain, and I don't see the mud. And I put the foot down, and I slip. And the next thing I know, I've rolled onto that path, and the bike is on the floor. And I don't know really how that happened. But anyway, I was willing to crack on. I thought this was quite impressive, actually. I was a bit shocked, all right, you know, trying to get my head around what had actually happened. And like the examiner was kind of looking at me thinking, are you okay? Like, you know, I go, yeah. And I was ready to continue on. No, that wasn't going to happen. That was an instant fail. But anyway, you know, I did have a sense of humour about that, folks. I thought, well, you know, if you're going to fail your test, do it in style. Fall off the bike. Drop the bike. Why not? Anyway, And I remember you putting a post out there about failure, actually, that failure is learning, that we actually have to fail, to achieve stuff. And again, more people were watching the video. The views were probably getting up to about 300, 350 at this point. It was just incredible. It was incredible people watching my journey, and that's meant so much to me. I had to wait 10 working days to do the Module 2 test again. That was a pain in the backside, because I felt that I had built up a momentum and I kind of wanted to just get back out again. Besides, I come off the bike. So I wanted to get back up on the horse again, as they say. Anyway, 10 working days went. The day of the Module 2 test, I had a complete meltdown. Now, I don't have to tell you about this because I actually videoed myself when this was happening, because I thought, I work as a counsellor, I work as a comedian, an entertainer. I have no problems public speaking. People are not going to believe the actual fear that has gone on behind the scenes as part of this journey. So I did actually a video of myself, and I know Ben is going to share that now. Hi folks, so today I'm going to be going for my Module 2 retest on the big bike licence, and my fear around this is quite horrendous actually. I make no apologies for being upset about this, because I know this is fear. I just had a flashback of when I was 9 years of age and I was on a bicycle and I fell off the bicycle into the other side of the road in which a car was coming, and luckily it stopped in time. And alongside a previous car accident, which has caused a lot of fear in me doing this, I've realised that that's why my fear is so out of proportion to this event. Believe you me, I'm not underestimating how big this goal is. But do you know something? Every time my vibe outweighs why would I put myself through this? But you know something, folks? I do this because I hope that by facing my fear, that it will continue to encourage other people to watch my free 10-minute video on how to help somebody with suicidal thoughts. Because what I do know is when families and friends avoid the topic and people bottle up that stuff, it can be a factor in leading to the suicide. And I don't know about you folks, but I've had enough, and I've had enough of people not talking about it and looking at suicide from a prevention point of view. So today, despite my fear, I will go ahead and do the retest for the Module 2. And I'm just amazed if I get it, but do you know what? I keep going until I do, because my reasons why I'm doing this far outweigh my fear. So if you're inspired by my story and haven't watched this free 10-minute video or looked at my training, then please do. And let's help each other. Okay, cheers folks. So yes, I had that complete meltdown and still went on to do my Module 2 test that day and pass it, and to achieve my full motorbike licence. And I'm sure you can hear that this has been an incredible journey. So why am I upset now? I'm upset because again, I think about the why. I think about why would I put myself through all of this? Don't get me wrong, I absolutely love being a biker now. I have a brand new bike. I went away and I got an MT-07, the same type of bike that I did my lessons on, because I was familiar with that bike and I thought, well, it kind of makes more sense instead of trying to learn on a completely different bike, But yeah, I go back to my why for doing this. Look, I am a survivor of mental ill health. So I know what it's like to be suicidal, okay? I have survived judgments, bullying, abuse, criticisms, anxiety, depression, you name it. I certainly have walked the walk of mental health. So I know what it's like to be at the other end of that scale. And I know what it's like when family and friends don't understand you and the stuff they're saying to you is actually not helpful. They mean well, but it's actually not helpful. Now, I've been working as a mental health counsellor for 15 years or so, and I see time and time again how families mean well, but some of the stuff they say is not helpful. It's as simple as that. And I'm sorry, folks, but I don't think ignorance is an excuse anymore. Oh, I didn't know. No. We've got the opportunity to do something about this. I had a story of where a friend of mine had lost a family member to suicide. And she kept saying, why didn't he say something? Why didn't he say something to his family? You know, she kept saying stuff like that. And I said, if you don't mind me asking, are his family the type of family who actually talk openly about feelings, who actually have conversations about feelings, and it's okay to be or not be okay? She goes, oh no. Well then why would he? Why would he? And that's the part of the culture, folks. That's the part of society. That's the part that we can do something about when we look at the way that we do or don't talk about feelings, the way we try to fix people. We don't allow them to not be okay. Of course we're not going to be okay. Look at the cost of living at the moment. Who's okay about that? We're not okay about that. But actually, sometimes we just need to not be okay. We need to have a good old rant. We need to get stuff off our chest and not bottling that stuff up, because that bottling that stuff up is killing people. But we can do something about this by watching my 10-minute video on how can I help somebody who's having suicidal thoughts. So if you haven't watched the video already, please watch the video. I know it's uncomfortable viewing. I know it is. But you know something, isn't it worth being 10 minutes being uncomfortable if it has the potential to save a life? And you know something, I think we owe it to our lost loved ones who have died by suicide to learn about this, to stop shoving this under the carpet, to get rid of that stigma, and just allow ourselves to be vulnerable and know that that actually takes great strength to show vulnerability. So I want to say a massive thank you to everybody who has supported me on this absolutely crazy journey of learning to ride a motorbike and this whole challenge. I would do it again and again and again for the difference that it makes. And thank you for sharing, this video. Please share this video if you're happy to do so. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel and be part of our mental wealth community. And let's just make a difference. Let's not just make a difference. Let's be the difference. Let's feel the fear and do it anyway. Something that actually happened in the Module 2 test was the examiner had asked me to pull over, and he was laughing because I pulled over at a bus stop. And when I was explaining this to my trainer, Kate, later on, she goes, oh Sheila, I'm surprised nobody got on. To all the biker community, let's look out for each other. I mean, the biker community is absolutely amazing, and all the stuff that you already do, the ride out to the Stephen Sutton ride out, the ride to the wall, all those amazing stuff that you do. So let's watch this 10-minute video. Let's know what to do if any of us are struggling with suicidal thoughts, and let's not be afraid of it. Let's help each other, and I look forward to getting back on the road on my new motorbike with my full motorbike license. OMG, I am a biker. What have you done to me? And I love it. Thank you.